a situation that the federal government's deployed medical teams to help tackle the Omicron variant?
Reagan, it's become total chaos here in the United States when it comes to the Omicron variant. As you mentioned, the record number of cases per day, more than 356,000 is the average right now for the past week. That means in the past week, 2.5 million cases of the COVID-19 and mostly Omicron variant have been reported in the United States. Compare that to the beginning of the year. From January 3rd and 9th of this year, there were 1.7 million cases was the record. So we're talking 800,000 more in this past week alone. And the surge and the rapid nature of this Omicron spread is making it that the hospitals are overflowing. They don't have any room and capacity to take on extra patients that need emergency care beyond the COVID and the Omicron. And as you mentioned, Americans that are 62% vaxxed, 33% boosted, they're okay with this. In fact, I'll just tell you a personal note that my family just caught the Omicron variant last week. I am fully vaxxed and boosted, so is my wife. My son is under 12, and he has both of his Pfizer shots. We got sick. There is a bright side to this, though, what doctors are seeing, if you look at the numbers. The death toll this week in the United States is 10,823, and although that is a horrible number, compare that to the beginning of the year, from January of the beginning of this year, the death toll was more than 24,000. So what doctors are seeing right now is that if you are vaxxed and boosted and you contract the Omicron variant, the likelihood is you will not be hospitalized. Like us, we had severe cold and flu symptoms that lasted, unfortunately, 7 to 10 days, cough, sneezing, runny nose, fever, chills. But that's nothing compared to being in the hospital. And my doctor told us that the reason why we were able to stay at home and be able to recover here is because we were vaccinated, fully vaccinated and boosted. So that's the difference. Omicron is spreading like wildfire. This is something that the variant is mutating and infecting more people in the United States and around the world. But when it comes to the mortality rate, the fatalities, they're seeing that if you're fully vaxxed and boosted, that you will remain, hopefully, like my family did, safe from going into the hospital or possibly dying.
And those boosters are important, aren't they? A new study, Darren, in the US has found that immunity against Omicron wanes with both Moderna and Pfizer if you've gotten both shots. I mean, this obviously doesn't feed into trust for the vaccine.
And that's the thing, Reagan. You know, so many people have been given misinformation or disinformation over the past year, especially with the vaccine. And I'm living proof that if you have that booster, you have those two vaccines, and you contract that Omicron variant, the likelihood is that your symptoms will not be so severe, and the likelihood of you going into the hospital or possibly dying won't be the case. I have a nephew who is a respiratory therapist in Minneapolis, and he works in an emergency room, and he just told me, we spoke the other night, he said that all the cases, 100% of the cases in his hospital are from those whom are not vaccinated. And his message, as many medical professionals and scientists are telling the world, get the shots, get the boosters. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you get those shots, if you get fully vaccinated, if you trust in the science, then this will help you, because right now, like I said, those numbers speak for themselves. If the death toll this week in the United States is less than 11,000 compared to nearly 25,000 back at the beginning of the year, and most of this is Omicron and it's spreading across the country, then that tells you something about the vaccine. So yes, the misnomer and the misguided nature of some people still not believing in the vaccine, thinking that something is a hoax or something is not right with the science, that needs to be laid to rest now, because I and my family are living proof that if you're fully vaccinated, you will likely be protected from the Omicron variant.
Right, Darren, I appreciate the reporting. Thank you for that.